It's no surprise to anyone who watches or listens to our podcasts that we love professional wrestling and video games. Well, there are countless wrestling video games such as WWF Steel Cage Challenge, the WWE 2K series, and the bane of El Franquero's existence, Tag Team Wrestling on the NES. This list focuses solely on wrestlers in non-wrestling video games. We're limiting entries to one wrestler per series, so without further ado, I'm Brian from LevelDownGames.com, and here's our top 10 wrestlers in non-wrestling games. Kicking it fresh on the ones and twos, our number 10 pick stars in the Activision-produced Guitar Hero rhythm game spin-off, DJ Hero. After a stint in jail, Juggernaut traded the ring for the turntable. This heavyweight crowd pleaser may appear to be a gentle giant, but if you cross him, you better beware the suplex. Our number 9 pick is Professor Werner von Braun. Originally from the Simpsons episode Bart the Daredevil from Season 2, he's better known as being the first boss of Konami's Simpsons arcade game. Oh, the quarters we spent playing this game back in the 90s. Seriously. This game would have lines around the arcade with players waiting to jump on to save Maggie and lay the smackdown on Charles Montgomery Burns. Professor Werner von Braun is remembered for a fighting style which would see him jump at you with body presses while trying to keep his tights from falling down, exposing his pink underoos. At number 8 comes Burnoff from the acclaimed techno series Double Dragon. A recurring foil for Billy and Jimmy Lee, or Bimmy and Jimmy for those that appreciate the error in Double Dragon 3, a former world heavyweight champion and at 495 pounds who was going to stop him, Burnoff the Human Bomb has been a staple in the series since Double Dragon 2 The Revenge. Quitting pro wrestling to join the world of crime. Who does he think he is? New Jack? Our number 7 pick. I love our number 7 pick. Tina Armstrong has been wrestling with our hearts since the debut of the Tecmo classic Dead or Alive in 1996, which sports a cast of 8 characters, 9 if you count the unlockable character Raidu. A professional wrestler since high school, she was the most feared and lethal competitor in all of pro wrestling. She almost gave up on her career until her father, Bass Armstrong, convinced her to take on the world. Her goal now was to win the Dead or Alive tournament and get discovered by Hollywood as a leading lady. In at number 6 is Eddie Kilbane Pryor from the Volition series Saints Row. Kilbane was the leader of the gang known as, well of course you guessed it, the Luchadors. After the death of Felipe Loren in the game, Kilbane became the leader of the Syndicate, an international conglomeration of gangs, wresting control from his partners Kiki and Viola de Winter. See what we did there? Wrestling. He's a violent psychopath who once killed a colleague for calling him Eddie instead of Kilbane. Fun fact, Kilbane once injured Rowdy Roddy Piper, causing him to miss an event. Yes, that Rowdy Roddy Piper, the Hot Rod. Video games are weird. At number 5 is Mugsy. Debuting in 1993's Kirby's Adventure on the Nintendo Entertainment System, this mini-boss has been laying the smackdown on the pink puff for almost 25 years now. Being based on a stag beetle, he has large mandibles which he uses to grab and slam Kirby with a body slam, backdrop, or suplex. Mugsy can also release ladybugs to attack, but I think that's against wrestling rules. Kirby can gain the backdrop or suplex ability when he inhales Mugsy, allowing him to lay the smackdown on evil inhabitants of Dreamland. I wonder what he'd get from John Cena. My guess is invisibility. Our number 4 pick is Mike Haggar. Mike Haggar is a Scottish wrestler turned mayor of Metro City in Capcom's Final Fight series. Debuting in 1989, Mike Haggar takes to the streets to fight the Mad Gear Gang, clean up the city, and save his daughter Jessica. That's right, the character beating up enemies is the mayor of the Metro City. I can see now why Minnesota voted Jesse the Body Ventura their governor back in 1999. Mike Haggar has appeared in various games since then, including Saturday Night Slam Masters and the Marvel vs. Capcom series. The war on crime never looked so awesome. Our number 3 pick, based on the famous luchador Tiger Mask, is King from Bandai Namco's Tekken series. Originally a Catholic priest turned pro wrestler, King fought to fund his local orphanage. Sounds like the plot to a horrible Jack Black movie. King was actually killed in Tekken 3, and one of his orphans took up the mantle as the Jaguar masked cat-style wrestler. Utilizing high-impact moves such as the Exploder and the Frankensteiner, he's deceptively fast and his throwing attacks make light work of unsuspecting opponents. Now on its 7th main series entry, Tekken and King aren't going anywhere anytime soon. In at number 2 is Hawlucha from the Pokemon series. Introduced into the series in Generation 6's Pokemon X and Y, the high-flying fighting-type Luchador Hawk was the first Pokemon to learn the move Flying Press. Hawlucha is the only Pokemon to be both a fighting and flying type in the entire series. Hawlucha makes up for its small body with its proficiency in fighting, which allows it to keep up with bigger fighters such as Machamp and Hariyama. It deftly controls its position in the air by using its wings. A favored tactic is to strike from above, as many opponents have a hard time defending against this maneuver. While not the only Pokemon to exhibit wrestling moves, Hawlucha's innovative high-flying style and flair for pageantry has earned it the number 2 spot on this list. Finally, our number 1 spot comes from Capcom's Street Fighter series. There have been multiple characters who exhibited wrestling backgrounds such as Turkish oil wrestler Hakan, the luchadora Rainbow Mika, the Mexican chef Luchador El Fuerte, and even sumo champion Edmund Honda, but the top spot goes to the Red Cyclone himself, Zangief. Debuting in Street Fighter II in 1991, the 400-pound Soviet stands an impressive 7 feet tall,
and you can't teach that,
and loves to wrestle bears in his free time. Whether it's alone like in Street Fighter or teamed up with others in Marvel vs. Capcom or Street Fighter Cross Tekken, this Russian pile-driving machine will leave his enemies broken on the floor, all for the glory of his motherland. And that's our list of the top 10 wrestlers in non-wrestling video games. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. Once you're done with that, and if you want to stay up to date on all things Level Down Games, you can follow us on Twitter at OriginalLDG, find us on Facebook, and follow us over at twitch.tv/LevelDownGames. We have 3 podcasts uploaded to iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube weekly, including our video game podcast, Max Level, a podcast dedicated to soundtracks and video game music known as BG Mania, and one all about the world of professional wrestling in the Gorgeous Lads of Wrestling. We also produce reviews for the latest releases, do unboxings, let's plays, and so much more. All of our content can also be found over at our main home on the internet, and hopefully yours as well, LevelDownGames.com. Until next time, keep on gaming.